Hello all. Today I am going to discuss the most important topic of Indian polity. The content which I am going to take for this particular unit, preamble, is from Lakshmikant and from D.D. Basu. So, before entering into the Indian polity, we need to know how we are entering into the polity. So, Indian polity is nothing but understanding everything about the Constitution of India. Understanding everything about the Constitution of India. So, for the Constitution as a book, when I enter into any of the book, there will be a preface, which is nothing but introduction to the Constitution. So, that introduction, which is called as preface, which is there in our textbooks, that preface is considered as preamble. The preamble is most important topic in the total Indian polity. When we are understanding about the Indian Constitution, that preamble, A to Z of preamble, I am going to take in today's session. What is the objectives? What is the nature? What are the principles of the preamble? Whether preamble is part of the Constitution, whether preamble is justiciable, these are all the concepts which I am going to discuss today. So everyone please stay tuned for another 50 minutes. A single topic I am going to take for 50 minutes, A to Z, prelims point of view, mains point of view. And I am also going to discuss about the previous questions regarding preamble of the Constitution. The recent UPSC prelims questions also I am going to discuss under this particular topic with Supreme Court judgments. So before that, please subscribe to our channel and click the like button, bell button. So preamble of the Constitution, which is a entry point to the Constitution of India. It is a preface to the Constitution of India. So first I will discuss what are the previous questions in the UPSC prelims examination with respect to preamble. So this is the first question. Let's look at some of the previous year's questions. This is the first question which has been asked in the year 2020, UPSC prelims 2020, and the first question is, the preamble to the Constitution of India is what? I will not declare the answer now. I will discuss the questions and I will go back, I will complete the topic and again I will come back. So the preamble to the Constitution of India, what is the preamble to the Constitution of India? Whether it is part of the Constitution, whether it had no legal effect, not a part of the Constitution, had no legal effect, a part of the Constitution has same legal effect as other part, a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independent of other. So this is 2020 UPSC prelims question regarding preamble. Second question, which is UPSC prelims 2019, the question is about, in India, separation of judiciary from the executive is, in India, the separation of executive from the judiciary is enjoined by, where it is present, whether it is present in the preamble of the Constitution, whether it is present in the DPSP, whether it is present in the 7th schedule of the Constitution, whether it is present in the conventional practice. Why I took this question means there is a term called as preamble, 2019 question, and the next question is, the third question, it is in UPSC 2020 prelims. Another second question on the preamble topic. Other than the fundamental right, which of the following part of the Constitution of India reflect the principles of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights? So where this United Nations Declaration on Human Rights is present in our Constitution, other than fundamental right? Yes, in fundamental right, what are the declarations of human rights is present? Other than fundamental rights, where this Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is endorsed by the United Nations Organization, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. So, preamble, DPSP, fundamental duties. Select the correct option. So, other than fundamental rights, where this Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is endorsed by the UN, which is popularly called as United Nations Universal Declaration on Human Rights, whether it is present in preamble, whether it is present in DPSP, whether it is present in fundamental duties, preamble is there. So 2020 previous year question. Answer I will come back. Economic justice as the objective of constitution has been provided in, this is also previous question. Economic justice, where it is present, preamble and fundamental rights, preamble and DPSP, fundamental right and DPSP, none of the above. Preamble is there. So preamble is most important topic. Preamble is most important topic, which we need to have the conceptual clarity. We need to have the command on the subject. So just we should not read what is present in the Lakshmikant. We have to analyze it. We have to understand it. We have to dig deeper into it. That thing I am going to do in this session. Is preamble a part of the constitution? That is the biggest question which is there. Is preamble a part of the constitution? Why? Because preamble is present outside the constitution. It is a preface. In our textbooks, we will be having the preface. So, as it is present in the outside the constitution, whether it is part of the constitution or not, it is subjected to lot of issues. It is subjected to lot of conflicts. So, in such, the first case is the Berry Union case. So, I want to come into the Supreme Court, then I will go into the preamble. So, what are these cases you need to have an awareness? Berry Union case. It's a very interesting case, you know. Berry is a region. Berry is a region which is not a contentious issue, but the government of India had decided to cede a part of Indian territory to East Pakistan, to the Pakistan at that time in 1960. So here question arised. The government is ready to cede it. So whether the government have the power to give its some part of the territory to other country, whether it has the authority to give off a part of the territory to another country. Why? Because in the preamble there is a term called as unity and integrity, unity of the nation. So in the preamble it is present unity of the nation. Unity of the nation means unity of the territory. So unity of the territory is present in the preamble. So whether the union government have the power to break this unity. So in this context, in the Berry Union case, the Supreme Court had interpreted that preamble is not part of the constitution. So as unity is present, unity, integrity and sovereignty is present. Integrity is added later, mainly before 1978, before 1976, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Before, there are two terms in the preamble, original preamble, unity and sovereignty. Unity is telling that we have to be united. Sovereignty is telling that yes, the union government is sovereign. The constitution is sovereign. No one can break the sovereignty. Whereas unity is telling that we have to be united. So in the process of being united, whether in the process of being unit as a territory, as a single country, whether the government of India is having the power to give some part of its territory to Pakistan, then the Berry told, in the Berry case, the Supreme Court told that preamble is not part of the constitution, hence we can give a part of the country, we can give the part of the territory to the another country. So there is no effect on the unity and sovereignty. We can give off a part of the territory to another country. Why? Because preamble itself is not part of the constitution. This is the interpretation which is made by the Supreme Court in Berry Union case 1960. Then the important case came. Up to now the 13-judge bench was been not constituted. Only one time it is constituted, and that bench is called as Keshavananda Bharati case. 13 judges were been sitting under a single bench for a single case called as Keshavananda Bharati case, and this personality was been died very recently. So Keshavananda Bharati is running a mutt. So because of the process of land reforms, he is losing some part of the land. At that time, before 1976, the right to property is a part of fundamental right. Right to property is part of fundamental right. So when the government is taking any action with respect to land acquisition, This right to property as a fundamental right is acting like a hurdle. So in the same way, the Keshavananda Bharati's Mutt land also is been acquired by the government of Kerala. So he went to Supreme Court questioning the violation of fundamental rights because his right to property is being violated. And in this context only, in this judgment, the 13 judges bench had came up with a innovative idea called as basic structure doctrine. Basic structure doctrine. In this basic structure doctrine, they came up and they told that preamble is also part of the constitution. Preamble is also part of the constitution. And they also iterated that. The preamble is also part of the basic structure doctrine. So in the constitution, what are all the basic structure, the basic elements of the constitution which are present are embedded in the preamble. Hence, preamble is also part of the constitution. And it iterated that. Yes, preamble is a part of the constitution, but preamble doesn't give any right or preamble doesn't give any power. But preamble itself is a part of the basic structure. That is what which is given by the Keshavananda Bharati case, which means that when it doesn't have any power, when it doesn't have any right, and when it doesn't give any power, it can be amended. It can be amended within the ambit of the basic structure doctrine. So the Keshavananda Bharati case, the Supreme Court told that the preamble is a part of the constitution as well as it can be amended if there is no violation of basic structure doctrine. So, in Berry case, which was being told that the preamble is not part of the constitution, was being reversed in Keshavananda Bharati case of 1973. Preamble is a part of the constitution, but the preamble doesn't give any right, preamble doesn't have any force to give. Hence, it can be amended if there is no violation of basic structure of the doctrine. Basic structure doctrine. Then the same has been reiterated in this LIC of India case also. In this case, LIC of India case 1995 also, the same thing was being reiterated and came to a conclusion that it told that yes, the preamble is the basic structure of the constitution and preamble is the part of the constitution. As one more point which was been came up from this LIC of India case is, yes, it doesn't give any right or it doesn't give any power. As it doesn't give any right, as it doesn't give any power, it is not justiciable. It is not legal. So these are the three major, very important judgments with respect to preamble. I will explain deeper. 20 slides are there. I will explain deeper, then again I will come back, then you will come to a conclusion. The preamble is not a source of power to the legislature or a prohibition upon the powers of the legislature. Hence it is not justiciable. It is not giving any right. It is not prohibiting any powers. It is not prohibiting anyone from doing anything. Just it is mentioning that yes, it is a part of the constitution, but itself doesn't give any power. It itself doesn't give any right. Hence it can be non-justiciable. But if it is giving some right, then 100% it should be justiciable. Why? Because violation of rights will happen. So in order to protect it, we need to have a justiciable nature. So it doesn't give any right. It doesn't have any power. So there will not be any violation. When there is no violation, there is no requirement of any legal basis. I hope you got this point. Very complex judgments of the Supreme Court. The greatest verdicts of Supreme Court. So, how the questions will be there in the UPSC examination? Then again I will begin with the preamble. There will be analytical questions. There will be factual questions. Analytical questions. Text of preamble to be read with important Supreme Court judgments. Analysis. Interpretations. I gave you in the first 4 previous years questions. Those are analytical questions. Sometimes we can expect factual questions also. Interlinking the ideas. In the preamble with fundamental rights and DPSP, now only we got economic justice is present in preamble or preamble and fundamental right or fundamental right and DPSP. Interlinking. It's a factual information but interlinking. Or what is added to the constitution under 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act? Socialist secular integrity. So such sort of factual questions we can understand. So analysis of the preamble is important and facts also important. Both are important. Don't think that facts are also equally important, my dear students. The preamble philosophy of the Constitution. Mainly the preamble talks about, it's about utility. What utility we are going to get from the Constitution is mentioned in the preamble. What is the importance of the Constitution is mentioned in the preamble. What is the significance of the Constitution is mentioned in a single page document, preamble. Understanding the objectives of the preamble, yes, there was an objective resolution which happened in 1947 by the Jawaharlal Nehru. Means what should be the objectives of the Constitution? That objective resolution itself evolved in the form of a preamble, means basic targets of the Constitution. What should be embedded in the Constitution? So in this preamble, some keywords will be there. You have to understand the meanings of those keywords. I will be explaining about it, like sovereignty, socialist, secular, justice, etc. What is justice? Justice means not justice which we come across outside. It is something more. Secular, socialist, sovereignty. Yes. Preamble. We are going into the original preamble. Preamble is an introduction or preface to the Constitution. It is the identity card of the Constitution. It is based on the objective resolution which has been drawn in 1947 by the Jawaharlal Nehru. Has been amended once. Yes, it has been amended once. I told you, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act added socialist, secular and integrity. Sir, what is this preamble? What is this preamble? Yes. We, the people of India, solemnly resolve to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, democratic, republic and secular country. And we are going to provide to the citizens justice, social, economical and political justice, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, and equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all the fraternity. The next, the fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual as well as and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, on the 26th November 1949, we are going to adopt the Constitution of India. This is what which is mentioned in the preamble. So, what is the source of the preamble? The people of India is the source of the preamble. We, the people of India, solemnly resolved. So, it is not the Constituent Assembly. We can expect questions. Who is the source of the Constitution? Yes, Constitution was being prepared by the Constituent Assembly, but the original source is not the Constituent Assembly. It is the people of India who are solemnly resolved and adopted this preamble. And what are the objectives? To promote justice, liberty, equality, fraternity among the people of India. And what we embedded in the Constitution, we embedded sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. And we adopted on 26th November 1949 and came into force in 26th January 1950. So, source of the Constitution, I told you, it's the people of India. Nature of the Indian state is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. That is the nature of our Constitution. Objectives of the Constitution: equality, liberty, fraternity, justice is the objectives of our Constitution, and date of adoption is 26th November. Very important prelims point of view. The source of the Constitution is the people, and the nature of the Constitution is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic, and the objectives of the Constitution is equality, justice, liberty and fraternity. A question was been asked earlier. Write about the sources of the Constitution. Yes, you have to try right from the preamble itself. What is the objectives of the constitution? This is the nature, this is objectives. Equality, justice, liberty, fraternity is the objectives of the constitution. So, one by word by word, word by word, word by word, I will be explaining you now. So, what is sovereign? What is socialist? What is secular? What is democratic? What is republic? In this way. So, sovereignty means what? There is another word, opposite word, antonym to the sovereignty is suzerainty. So first I will explain you word by word. You have to know the meaning. You have to analyze the word. Why? Because every word is carefully embedded into the preamble of the constitution. Preamble of the India. What is sovereignty? Sovereignty is opposite to suzerainty. Suzerainty means Government of India Act 1935, Government of India Act 1858, Government of India Act 1919. Yes, we made a law by British India, but the final suzerainty, the final power rests with British. So we are working under the British. The India as a nation working under British, that is called as suzerainty. We are under the suzerainty of the British Crown. But today we are sovereign means we can make our own internal policy, we can make our own foreign policy, we are not allowing the foreign powers to interfere into our affairs. So we are sovereign. Sovereign. India is neither a dependency nor a dominion but an independent state. Yes, we never, after we got the independence and when we drawn our own constitution, we are not dependent and we are not dominion. Dominion means when the head of the state is a foreigner, like Australia, the head of the state for Australia today also the British Crown, but for us, the head of the state is not a British Crown. Yes, we got the independence from British, but we are not under the British. We have our own head of the state, the president. We have our own head of the government, prime minister. So sovereign. We are not dependent, we are independent. Sovereignty means when we do our own internal policies, when we do our own foreign policies is called as sovereignty. In spite of having the membership of United Nations organization, in spite of having the membership of Commonwealth, any membership, IPSA, BRICS, World Trade Organization, yes, we are member. It doesn't mean that we are losing our sovereignty. We are maintaining our sovereignty. We are maintaining our sovereignty. India can either acquire a foreign territory or cede a part of its territory. Yes. We can acquire any part of the world or we can give any part of the country to another country. Why? Because it is our own decision. Our own decision, independent decision is called as sovereign, and the opposite of sovereign is suzerainty. The terms are very important. So, suzerainty versus sovereignty. What is sovereignty? What is suzerainty? Before 1947, we were being suzerain, and after that, we are sovereign. And after the adoption of the constitution, we are completely sovereign. The next term, socialist. What is the meaning of socialism? Socialism is nothing but the ownership of the goods will vest in the public. The ownership, if it is limited to few people, it is called as capitalist. The ownership of the goods which are produced is with the public, is with the people. It is called as socialism. Where the owner is not one, where the owner is not few, where the owners are the public, socialism. This is the revolution which is being given by the Russian people to us. Russian revolution. Yes. Everything will be the publics. Everything will be the people. The government just, it is a trustee. It will be taking care whether everything is happening according to the people's opinion or not. Whether the property is controlled under few or the property is controlled under many. Socialism means property is controlled under many. So we adopted this socialist, secular, integrity. These three terms into the preamble were been added from this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Yes. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. There are two types of socialisms are there. Democratic socialism versus communist socialism. Communist socialism, like an example of Chinese socialism, is called as communist socialism, where the property of the country is under the control of the people commune. What is the basic understanding of this communist socialism means they believe that there is a need for transformation immediately, not gradually. Immediate transformation should happen. And that immediate transformation can happen by force. By using the force, there will be immediate transformation. I think you are aware of the great leap forward of Mao of China, where he abandoned the traditions, where he abandoned everything, and he want a big transformation. That type of transformations are called as communist socialism. Yes, everything will be under the control of the people, but immediately. By what? By using the force. That is the reason the left-wing extremism also, we will be calling it as Maoism or Maoists. They also dismantle the state. They also want to establish socialist society by using the force immediately. So the attacks which are happening in the Chhattisgarh, the recent attack on our CRPF Jawans, they want to establish this form of socialism, which is called as communist form of socialism, which is adopted from China. That is the dismantling of the state and establishing of the socialistic society where the people are the owners. But how we are going to establish? By using the force immediately, not gradually. Whereas democratic socialism talks about gradual transformation, with people's approval transformation. Yes, people are going to control the goods. The people are going to control the production. The people are going to enjoy the resources. The government is also going to focus on welfare. So democratic socialism mainly focus on welfare. Transformation into a socialistic society. Sir, what is this democratic socialism means? Complete abandonment of inequalities. There will not be any inequalities, haves and have-nots. Everyone will be on the equal line. So democratic socialism aspires for absence of inequalities gradually, not by using the force. This is Nehruvian socialism. There is other socialism which is called as Gandhian socialism, whereby he promotes total welfare state like pensions for the senior citizens, various provisions for the SCs, backward communities, underprivileged communities, which comes under Gandhian socialism. But in India, we follow the democratic socialism, whereby, yes, we want to avoid the inequalities, we want to promote the welfare, but gradually. So we are of democratic socialism. Sovereign, socialist, and the secular. The next is the secular. As I told you, so socialist, secular, and integrity, these are the three words which added to the constitution by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976, secular. Secular means very simple. Scientific, empirical, rational is called as secular. All religions are equal before the eyes. That is the belief of the secularism. Again, there is two distinctions between the secularism. One is Indian secularism, other is Western secularism. Indian secularism talks about all the religions are equal before the eyes of the government. No appreciation and no discrimination for any religion. All religions will be treated equally. That is called as Indian secularism. Western secularism, the state is isolating itself from the church. We don't want to be part of the church. We don't want to be part of the religion. We are away from the religion. We are not going to indulge in the religion. Is called as Western secularism. Indian secularism, yes, India will participate in Manasarovar project, Manasarovar pilgrimage. India will also fund subsidies for Hajj pilgrimage. India will also fund for the movement to the Jerusalem. India also make the policies for the Waqf board, for the religious boards. There is endowment departments. So India participate. Now, right now, iftar party is given by the governments at the end of the evening. Government will arrange. Yes, means government will be part of the religion, but there will not be any discrimination. Positive secularism. All religions in our country have the same status and support from the state. So Indian secularism is called as positive secularism. Western secularism is called as negative secularism. Indian secularism versus Western secularism. The state should not discriminate any religion is Indian form of secularism, which is added to the constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Next is democracy, which is there in the original constitution of India, in the original preamble. Popular sovereignty. People are going to choose the rulers. The people will decide this person should rule me. That is called as popular sovereignty. The people will come to a conclusion. Yes, he is a leader. He should choose us. He should rule us. We are going to choose him. That is called as popular sovereignty, democracy. Direct democracy versus indirect democracy. Two things will be there. Direct democracy versus indirect democracy. When we go to the elections of the parliamentarians, member of parliament of Lok Sabha, it is direct democracy where the people will be choosing their MPs. And this MP, which political party in majority will be choosing the Prime Minister. So Prime Minister is indirect democracy. Prime Minister is elected by indirect democracy, not by the people. The people will be electing the MPs and the MPs will be electing the Prime Minister. Direct democracy. So direct democracy where the people have the choice, where the people will involve directly, is called as direct democracy. Examples are there for direct democracy. Referendum. I think you are aware of this Brexit, British exit from European Union. A referendum was being conducted. For any legislation, for any policy, when the government want to take the opinion from the people, it is called as a referendum. The government will directly ask the people's opinion and the people will give their opinion. That is called as referendum, mainly with respect to legislations, mainly with respect to policies of the government is called as referendum. Initiative, where the people themselves will take the initiative and they will ask the government, we want citizen charters, we want a public grievances bill. So when the people come together and ask the government, is called as initiative. Recall, where the people will remove a people's representative before the expiry of the tenure, is called as recall. Haryana recently came up with a legislation called as Panchayati law. In that Panchayati law, the direct democracy where the people will be given the chance to remove the people's representative at the grassroots level. Recall. People can directly remove any office bearer before the expiry of the tenure. Plebiscite. You are aware of this plebiscite. Every time the Pakistan will be talking about this, please conduct plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir, whether people are interested to stay with India or they want independence, Azadi Kashmiri, or they want to join with Pakistan. Plebiscite is conducted wherever there is a boundary issues, territorial issues. To take the opinion of the people, we will be going with plebiscite, people's opinion. This is the example of direct democracy. Whereas the Prime Minister election is called as indirect democracy. where the elected people will be appointing a person. The democracy can be political democracy, social democracy, and economic democracy. Political democracy means universal adult franchise. All the citizens of the country, irrespective of their race, religion, caste, gender, and place of birth, they will get a vote card and they will be contesting in the elections, is called as universal adult franchise. The only requirement should be citizen of the country and 18 years and above, and they have the right to contest in any elections, is political democracy. Social democracy means there should not be any inequalities, there should not be discrimination, there should not be exploitation, all the people should be equal. Social democracy. Economical democracy, the gaps between the haves and have not should be lessened. The graph should be flat between the haves and have nots. Economic democracy, this also should be. So right now we are having the political democracy, we are aspiring for social democracy where there should not be any discrimination because of their caste, because of their gender, etc. Economic democracy, there should not be any discrimination because he is rich, because he is not rich. When there is social and economic democracy, then only we can ensure political democracy. We can expect such question. What is the criteria for a political democracy? Means social democracy and economic democracy. These three are interrelated with each other. So political democracy can happen if and only if there is a social and economic democracy. We can expect this question. Social democracy recognizes Trinity: liberty, equality, fraternity, yes, liberty, free, SC, no restrainment, women, no restrainment, minority, no restrainment, liberty, equality, everyone is equal. A Brahmin and a Shudra, a Muslim and a Hindu, equality. Fraternity, all are brotherhood, a universal brotherhood. He is from Gujarat, I am from Bengal. Discriminate him? No, there should be universal brotherhood based upon the citizenship, nationhood. So that is what which is guaranteed by the social democracy. When there is social democracy, when there is political democracy, when there is economic democracy, we can ensure political democracy. The next important is republic. The republic word itself is vibrating. Why? Because the republic gives sovereignty to the people, not to the government. It is the sovereignty of the people. People will decide who should be the head of the state, who should be the head of the government. When we compare republic, we have to compare with monarchy. Monarchy is a king's rule. One person rule will be there in monarchy. Like Bahrain king, Saudi Arabian king, or North Korean Kim Jong-un. Those are monarchies. But we are great. We are republic. The sovereignty is vested in the people. Vesting political sovereignty in the people. The total political power is vested in the people. Absence of any privileged class. No privileged class. Complete absence of privileged class. All the public offices are open to the public. All public offices are open to all citizens. It is open to the public. I can aspire for an IAS. I can aspire for a police officer post. I can aspire for an MP. I can aspire for any other post. Open to all the public offices. But it is not the case in some countries. Some offices are only for one section of people. Such was there once in House of Lords, the upper house in Britain. Only privileged classes will be entering into the House of Lords, the second chamber of Parliament, the upper house of Parliament. We doesn't have that. Anyone, I can aspire, you can aspire. That is the greatness of the republic. The political power will vest in the people. The people is the owner of the country, not the persons, not the individuals. The public are the owners. That is the meaning of the republic. So the opposite of the republic is monarchy. The head of the state is elected directly or indirectly for a fixed period. Yes, the people will choose. It might be directly or indirectly, but the people's choice will be sitting at the highest position. That is the beauty of the word called as republic. That is the understanding of the republic. Vesting political sovereignty in the people. Justice. Variety of justice are there, mainly social justice, economic justice, and political justice. Social justice, equal treatment, absence of privileges, no privileges, and improvement in conditions of backward classes and women, underprivileged sections. Everyone should be equal, that is called as social justice. No privileged section, that is called as social justice. Equal treatment, that is called as social justice, whereas economic justice. No discrimination on economic factors. Elimination of glaring inequalities of income and status. Yes, complete elimination of inequalities. There will not be any inequalities. There will not be any inequalities. That is called as economic justice. No gaps between the haves and have-nots. The gaps will zero in economic justice. The best example, distributive justice. Yes, when the haves are paying the taxes, from the taxes, the amount is distributed to the poor, to the have-nots. Example of economic justice is distributive justice. Distribute the resources among the people so that everyone will have the basic resources is a function of the government, which is mentioned in the preamble of the constitution. Economic justice. Political justice. Equal political rights. Everyone will be having the equal political rights, no discrimination. Equal access to all political offices. Equal access to all the political offices. And equal voice in the government. Yes, I can criticize the government. You can criticize the government. I can dissent the government. You can dissent the government. Political justice. I can vote any person. No one can force me. I can contest the elections. No one can stop me. Political justice. But when the social justice and economic justice are there, then only the political justice can be ensured. So this justice of economic, political, social justice we took from Russian Revolution. This is the idea of Russian Revolution. Liberty. Liberty means what? This is the previous question. Liberty means it's all about the self-development. Two things of liberty will be there. Positive liberty, negative liberty. Negative liberty is absence of restraint. There will not be any restraint. There should not be. The government should take care that I should not be contained. I should not be regulated. I should not be controlled. Absence of restraint. So I can use my full potential for the growth of me and my country is called as liberty. Negative, no restraint. Positive, opportunities for development of individual personalities, means capabilities. Amartya Sen talks about positive liberty. Amartya Sen is the advocate of positive liberty, which he had approach called as capabilities approach, which means that every individual should have the capability for which he need to show its potential. He need to show his potential. For development, for growth. That is the positive liberty, yes. So the most important is this, and the secondary is absence of restraint. There should be opportunity for my growth. That is what the liberty is about. Liberty of thought, expression, faith, belief, and worship. I have my own liberty for my own thought, for my own expression, for my own belief, my own faith, my religion, and worship. Constitutional limitations on liberty, but however, there are some constitutional limitations on liberty. Why? Because everything will not be absolute. Some things will be qualified, means restraints will be there. So the liberty is accepted for your personal development, for your potential, for the capabilities. That is what which is mentioned in our preamble of the Constitution under liberty. Equality. There should not be any privileges. Complete absence of special privileges. When I am going for vote, one person will directly go and he will vote and he will come. What is that? That is absence of equality. Everyone should stand in the queue. Absence of special privileges. Everyone is equal. Absence of special privileges is called as equality. Adequate opportunities for all individuals. All individuals should have adequate. Civic equality. Article 14 to 18. Equality. Article 14. Right to equality. Article 15. Absence of discrimination. Article 16. In public employment, equal opportunities. Article 17. No untouchability. Civic equality. Political equality. No one to be declared ineligible to be included in electoral roll on grounds of religion, race, gender, caste or sex. Elections to the center and the state are held on the basis of adult suffrage. Means without any discrimination. See, suffrage, what is the meaning between the universal adult suffrage and universal adult franchise means? Universal adult suffrage means without any discrimination when the vote right is given. Universal adult franchise means franchising so that all the 18 plus people will vote, will participate in election process. So, whereas universal adult suffrage is a negative. Why? Because it is no discrimination. In universal adult franchise, there is no word called as discrimination. Everyone should participate in the election. That is what? In the electoral process. That is what the difference between the universal adult suffrage. So, as I am talking here, absence of discrimination, I use the term called as universal adult suffrage. Those words' meanings are very important, my dear. So to this class, watch the recorded video. This class, watch it repeatedly by keeping the standard books like Lakshmikant or DD Bus. You will get the command over the subject. Economic inequality. Adequate means of livelihood. Everyone should have adequate means of livelihood. Equal pay for equal work. Equal pay for equal work. That is economic equality. Fraternity. Fraternity. You know, this term fraternity is not present in the objective resolutions of the Constituent Assembly. It is a term which is embedded newly into the original Constitution. It is not, we can expect this question whether fraternity is present in the objective resolution. No. Fraternity is totally absent in objective resolutions which is given by the Jawaharlal Nehru. So fraternity means universal brotherhood, no discrimination, no privilege, everyone are equal is fraternity. Sense of brotherhood, single citizenship, fundamental duty, promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood. It might be opposite gender, it might be opposite religion, it might be opposite linguistic group. No discrimination, common brotherhood, a sense of brotherhood. Dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. Integrity added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So, every individual should be having the dignity and the unity of the nation need to be protected. The integrity of the nation need to be protected. How it can protect? When I see my other religion as my colleague, my brother. When I see my other persons as my part of my religion, my part of my country, then there won't be any disturbance to the integrity of the nation. So, fraternity can be maintained by this dignity of the individual and integrity of the nation. Significance of the preamble. It is a grand and noble vision of the Constituent Assembly. Yes, everything is embedded in a single document called as preamble. It's a noble and a grand vision of the Constituent Assembly. Dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers. Our founding fathers who fought, who gave their blood for the freedom of the nation and who made this constitution, those are the founding fathers. Those dreams are embedded in this preamble of the constitution. Soul and key to the constitution. It is a soul and key to the constitution. Proper yardstick with which one can measure the worth of the constitution. Just by reading the constitution's preamble, any foreigner can come and measure our constitution. So what is a yardstick? Means measurement is our preamble. Lays down the pattern of our political society. How our political society is there? In a simple manner, it is written in the preamble of the constitution. Can the preamble be amended? As the preamble is a part of the constitution, it can be amended. I told you, in the Kesavananda Bharati case and in the LIC case, it is reiterated that the preamble is a part of the constitution. But it is a part of the basic structure. Yes, it can be amended, but without violating the basic structure doctrine which is mentioned in the Keshavananda Bharati case. Fundamental features as contained in the preamble cannot be amended. It means basic doctrine. The basic things cannot be amended. Yes, you can amend, but the basic things cannot be amended, which is reiterated by this Keshavananda Bharati and Minerva Mills case of 1980. Minerva Mills case of 1980. In Minerva Mills case of 1980, the 1973 Keshavananda Bharati case was been supported again by the Supreme Court judgment. So, conclusion is, preamble is a part of the constitution and it can be amended without violating the basic structure doctrine. Yes, thank you my dear friends. I will go to the MCQs. The beginning MCQs which I started, we will answer it and I will come back. Yes. The preamble to the Constitution of India is a part of the Constitution but had no legal effect. A part of the Constitution had no legal effect. A part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other. Means the same provisions are also present in fundamental rights. So, it's a part of the Constitution, has no legal effect, not justiciable independently. Whereas fundamental rights, those are justiciable. So, this is the right answer. Second, the preamble. In India, separation of judiciary from the executive is enjoined where? Not in preamble. It is present in the DPSP. Third, other than fundamental right, which of the following part of the Constitution of India reflect the principles of Universal Declaration of Human Rights? In DPSP of state policy, in preamble, in fundamental rights. In three it is present, none of the above. Economic justice as objectives of Constitution has been provided in the preamble and the fundamental rights, preamble and the DPSP, fundamental rights and DPSP. It is economic justice is present in preamble and directive principles of state policy. Yes. And I gave about the judgments also. So thank you my dear students. I hope you enjoyed the class. Please subscribe to our channel. And in this way, we will be doing the polity classes for our regular students. So anything, if you want to ask me doubts, you can comment below. I will be answering it. Thank you. All the best.